Hey everyone, it's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. I've been emailing back and forth with an athlete. I believe he is in Virginia or West Virginia. His name is Swai Danoa, I believe is how you say the last name. Sorry if I messed that one up on you. But in his emails back and forth, what he basically states is that he's been working on his technique. He's been working on some of the things that he's seen in these videos, but he had some follow-up questions. He's wondering what he can do in the weight room to strengthen his legs and back to simulate the motion of staying low in the back of the glide and exploding backwards, keeping that nice level body as you explode backwards into that glide position. And he's wondering if there's, strengthen, blah, 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 in the weight room to strengthen my legs and back to simulate that motion. Also, are there any drills you recommend to help me block better and get a good last surge from my throws? So this one is for you. Now, what I've been talking about the past couple of weeks has to deal with general strength training versus specific strength training. And general strength versus specific strength, I think, is very tough for athletes, especially younger American athletes. I'll generalize it as that. Younger American athletes and younger American coaches, this is something that's very difficult to understand because for years we've grown up thinking that, hey, if something is tough, let's mimic that movement and add a bunch of weight. So whenever you have a problem in the circle, the questions that I always get are, well, what can I do in the weight room to help that movement in the circle? What can I do? Is there an exercise I can do in the weight room to help this part of my throw in the circle? This is the difference, and this is why it's so hard and difficult to get this across to younger coaches and even older coaches too, and younger athletes that I talk to at a lot of the track camps and a lot of the track clinics that I speak at around the country. So what we need to talk about is, and I guess the main point I'm trying to get at is, that if you have a specific problem that is happening in the circle, it is very rare, it's almost a 0% chance that there's going to be an exercise that you can do in the weight room that is going to help out that movement in the circle. The weight room is where you should be building your general strength, using compound movements and using explosive Olympic-style lifting techniques. So things like squats, overhead press, deadlifts, bench press, clean and press, dumbbell snatches. That's where you're going to build up that general strength and that general explosiveness that you see in all athletic events, in all sports. That happens in the weight room. If you're having a specific problem in the throwing circle, you need to, again, 99% of the time, the answer for that problem is going to be done or going to be corrected in that circle. So what you need to do, if you're having a problem staying low, what we're talking about is when you start out, you're low in the back of that shot circle. And as you explode backwards, you stay low. So you want to avoid, and what's happening here is that as this athlete is coming back, he's standing up. So he's standing up, he's getting his body straight, and he's hopping backwards. He needs to stay low and glide across that circle. Stay level and glide across the circle. Well, there's a few things that you can do to help yourself get this exercise even better. First thing that you want to do is grab some type of a resistance tubing or a rope and attach it to a solid spot. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this stretch band around this weight tree. You want to stay low. You want to get a good stretch on the band, stay nice and low. When you get in that position, you want to work on pulling in and moving backwards. Staying low and moving backwards. Get up on that heel and just get used to extending the leg while keeping your body nice and low. At first, what you're going to notice is as you do it, you're going to want to stand up. And you're going to feel your body stand up. You're going to feel that band stretch you backwards. So you want to stay low, keep the body nice and low, and just work on stretching out. From there, you can actually go into a full glide without the shot, holding onto the band. So you're going to get that stretch and that resistance on the band as you come out of the back of the circle and land in that power position. So that's an exercise that you can do in the circle. Another thing that you can do is basically just do that glide over and over and over again. This is another very common question and common problem that I get from beginner throwers. They may have only been throwing for a year or two, and they, in their email, will tell me that they are beginner throwers that don't have great coaching. They have only maybe been doing the glide for a year or maybe even one season, and they want to know how to make it perfect. Practice makes perfect. If your technique doesn't look that good, and you know what you're doing wrong by watching these videos, you've learned what you're doing wrong and what you need to do right, you have to practice that. There's no magic pill, there's no magic exercise or drill that I can give you to work on a specific technique that's going to fix it in one day. Work on the technique. Don't even bother doing drills. Don't bother putting any external load like a stretch band or any type of a resistance onto your body. Don't use heavier shots. Don't use anything crazy. Don't get tricky. Just practice the exercise. Practice the movement. Practice your body getting in the correct position. Once you're able to do that, then pick up the shot. Do it with the shot. Again, you're going to have to adjust and get used to it. But gradual progressions, gradual practice, just perfectly trying to go through and get everything the right way is going to be enough for you to get that exercise down pat. You figure Olympic throwers are, for the most part, Olympic shot putters average to be about, the early 30s. If they started throwing when they were, say, 14 years old, they have 16, 17 years on average under their belt when they get to the Olympic Games. So you only doing this for a few months have a long way to go before you look like, or before you can get yourself in that perfect glide position like the top throwers in the world. So make sure you keep practicing your throws, make sure you keep working on your general strength, and whenever you have a specific problem in the circle, and that specific problem needs to be addressed, 99% of the time, the answer is not going to be in the weight room. It's going to be by doing drills and practicing that perfect technique and trying to get it as perfect as possible when you are in the throwing circle. Guys, this is a great question because it's a question where it's a theme that keeps coming up. I've been throwing for a year. What's that magic drill I can do to get perfect? What's that magic exercise I can do to get perfect? A lot of questions come in like this, and the answer is you just have to practice. So great question that came in. If you guys have your questions, if you need to have some answers and you want to correct your technique or have any questions regarding training for track and field in the weight room, make sure you ask them. You can email matt@primalatc.com. You can leave the comment on the Primal website or on the Primal Athlete Training Center Facebook page. You just have to click like and you can leave your questions right on that page and I'll get them answered for you right away.